The British Army had just been sent by Thomas Gage to stamp out civil unrest in Massachusetts by taking the towns of Lexington and Concord on April 19, 1775, expecting to seize civilians' weapons and be done with it, lickety-split. Little did they know that the so-called Minutemen had been warned by Samuel Prescott, not Paul Revere, of the attack, which they used to gain a numerical advantage of over 2.5 to 1, soundly defeating the British at both towns. The American Revolutionary War had just begun, with the most professional army in the world suffering thrice the casualties of a barely trained militia. How embarrassing. No one knows who shot first, but what we do know is that this shot heard around the world had just set off an 8-year conflict and one of the most momentous rebellions in history. Only 2 months after Lexington and Concord, on June 17, 1775, the British went on the offensive again, attacking Bunker Hill and nearby Breed's Hill overlooking Boston. The Americans had fortified these positions, repulsing the British twice with heavy casualties. They were finally forced to retreat when they ran out of ammunition, but suffered only 400 casualties to the British 1,000. Yikes, the British aren't doing too well, despite what should be a huge military advantage over the colonists. So that they don't suffer any more humiliating defeats, in November, Lord Dunmore, the British governor of Virginia, offers freedom to any person in bondage who will support the British. This is pretty radical, considering that slavery in England hasn't even been abolished yet, and tens of thousands of slaves seeked freedom this way. Yet in spite of it, some also fought for the Americans. 1775 was a pretty good year for the American Revolution, and anyone could be forgiven for thinking that they would end the war soon. Unfortunately, 1776 would see a series of setbacks for the colonists, as well as several pivotal documents, but that's a story for part 3.